And we're here with a new week, and yep, so this week I've decided to hop on the train and also do Blasting Station. This is kind of my take on it. Sorry for sounding a bit like unenthused about it. Actually, I'm excited to use this deck, but I just recorded this video with my game sound way too loud, and this menu music is way too obnoxious. I didn't want to put anyone through that. So if you can't hear any background music, it's because I'm trying to make a point. And yeah. Well, let's jump into it. I've got a couple changes. I just put it on this screen, but even though it's kind of useless. You can see the curve is nothing past turn 3. Only turn 4 I'd really consider as Vengevine, but that's a bit. It's not too special in this deck. It's a luxury I think we can do without. And yeah, the decks, even though these colors don't really say it, but black and red are the main colors. Black's a lot more because we've got Bloodghast and stuff. So yeah, I mean these are the main colours, black and red, and green's more of a tertiary one. And yeah, let's jump into the cards and I'll start justifying. There will be a link, there will be a deck list in the description. I don't think I'll be putting this one up on the forums just because, well, it's not really. There's a lot of other decks going around. I think Blasting Station on the forums, I can't really contribute to it too much. This is just my personal take on it. And yeah, so let's jump in. First card we got is we run 3 Crest from the Gravelords. This is just great in this deck. I think it's really underrated, to be honest. It's a 5/5, and generally in this deck you can definitely get it out by turn 4. And there's also some like minor tricks you can do with it. I mean, a good player will never fall from, but if your opponent isn't paying attention or something like that, you can crack it on there when they've swung in, and then you got a 5/5 blocker, or you can crack it end step and get lethal through or something like that. And yeah, he's just a big guy, and for 1 mana to get such a big creature, it's pretty nice. And as we're all sacrificing stuff out, they're generally going to need to remove some of our threats, and we're going to be we do have removal in this deck. I think that's something a lot of people don't bother running, but I do run some removal. So yeah, I think this thing is definitely worth it. Bloodghast is pretty much ideal with this deck. The double black can be a pain to cast, to cast, but it's worth it. Even if you get this guy out turn 3, turn 4, then it's going to be there for the entire game. It's going to be every turn pinging the guy for if you got Blasting Station out, obviously. It's going to be pinging someone for 1. If not, it's going to be swinging in. Gets haste, which is relevant, but even still, it's not ideal. And it's just powerful card. It's like I said. I mean, it was made for a Blasting Station combination because you swing in, you deal them 2 damage. You sack out the creature, you hit them, then you play a land, and then that's how the Bloodghast rolls, and it's really powerful. Next we run on to our black 3 drops, which is we run 2 Tribute to Hungers. The reason we're running Tribute in this deck is because big creatures kind of are a nightmare for this deck to deal with. We don't run if we had Murders, let's put it that way. But this is the best thing we got. The life gain is pretty irrelevant. This is just say you're playing on just Brimaz. Brimaz is a card this deck obviously does not appreciate, and just say it's created 2 tokens, so Tribute to Hunger is useless. Well, you just sack out, I don't know, like a Goblin Arsonist, take out 1 token, then take out the other token. Suddenly Brimaz is open to be killed, and you can, so basically if they've got any like small, like I don't know, Liliana Spectres protecting like a Runescar Demon or something, then you just take out the weak creatures, and then you can use this to wipe their side basically, and it's powerful. It's powerful in the right situation, and it's as good as we're gonna get with just like kill target creature, because these colors. I mean, you've got we'll get onto further removal later on, but yeah, I think that's as good as we're gonna get for low cost anyway. Now moving on to red, we have 4 Arsonists. Arsonist is pretty much one of the discard drops. You think, right, this is a perfect link in the deck. It's a 1-drop, so it's really cheap. Can't really be blocked by two power creatures unless they want to lose it, and you can also sack it out and deal 2 damage as well. So in any situation, this is a good card to play turn 1. Raise the Alarm, just wipes that out, just stuff like that. It's just Men of the Meek can't block, so it could just, and yeah, I've made my point. 2 power creatures, yeah, that's why. Another card within the deck, I don't know why I came out so like passionate there, but Hellspark Elemental. This is 3 damage, unearth 3 damage. Then you can, if you got Blasting Station, that's 5 damage. Yeah, it just gets out of hand because you've attacked in. This guy's gonna die anyway. Sack him out, ping him for 1. It's just good synergy with the deck. I will say something here though, is that don't wait until like end step and try and think there's a trigger coming. No, once you've unearthed this guy anyway, there's no trigger coming. He just straight up just dies instantly. So yeah, you have to sacrifice him second main. Don't wait until like end step. This because it's a sacrifice trigger, so there's no like delay. So just a friendly tip, something that it didn't cost me a game, but obviously it was a surprise. 3 Krenko's command. It's more bodies hitting the table. That's always a good thing. It's damage. It's a good aggro deck card. You can trade half a card for like some pretty powerful cards, such as like I don't know, like I don't know why this card came head first, but like Blood Craze, Neomite. Just there's like 2 1s, 3 1s, Necromancer's Assistance. That's more sensible. Just stuff like that. And even if you don't want to go defensive with it, obviously it's amazing going forward because you can go wide, and that's 2 triggers for Blast Sensation, 2 triggers for Raid Bombardment, stuff like that. So powerful card. Robber Master is pretty much an auto add in any aggro deck. He obviously gels fantastically though in this one because he creates guys, which obviously untaps your station, and he gets really powerful if if you can like sacrifice the token out to take out like a visionary blocker. Once you've attacked it, and that could be a lot of damage that Robber Master gets through unopposed. Just stuff like that. This deck's gonna be I'm gonna misplay it horribly, and I'm looking forward to everyone ripping me into that. But yeah, I'll do my best. That's all I can promise. But Robber Master, I really don't think I need to explain that card too much. It's pretty self-explanatory. Raid Bombardment now. I only run 2. I don't think you need 4. I'm gonna be brutally honest. Just say you're down, you've already on the field. The last thing you want to top deck is another one, and by only running 2, that's pretty. That's not unlikely to happen, to say the least. But I think 4 is just I know you want to see one every game, obviously, so logically you'd run 4. But I just don't think it's gonna help you, especially because it's one of them cards. I compare it to Triumph of Ferocity. I think it is better than Triumph of Ferocity. I don't think that needs to explain, but it's a similar card in the way that it's a luxury card. Like if you win in this thing will help you win faster, but if you're losing, this is not something you want to draw. And yeah, so I think I only want 2, because I mean it's a great finisher. They've got a huge board. It's gonna be very messy if you swing all in, and then suddenly this thing just tilts in your favor. That's why we run 2. Moving on to green, 4 Young Wolf, auto add again, pretty much the same as the Arsonist. Get 1/1 followed by 2/2, 2 triggers, a Blasting Station, great aggro card. Not much to say. it's really just it's one of the staples of cards. This and Arsonist, very good chance of getting this or Arsonist out in turn 1. So that's why we run all copies of them too. Next we run 4 Visionaries. 4 Visionaries because card draw. There's nothing really fancy to say. It's pretty much if there's any green deck and I don't have Visionary, I better have a damn good reason for it. That's my opinion on it. And I will be getting on to why I don't have a Phyrexian Rager in the deck at the end. I just didn't feel like throwing it in after Tribute to Hunger. So yeah, Visionary draws your card, keeps the train rolling, and yeah, it just makes a nice sacrifice outlet for Blasting Station. I don't know why I said sacrifice outlet. I mean, good target for Blasting Station after you've like jumped down like at Arbor classes or something. Now let's move on to the card I keep mentioning, Blasting Station. Blasting Station, it untaps every time a creature hits the battlefield, and you can sacrifice a creature by tapping it to ping for 1 damage. Now the trigger is a nightmare for me because instinctively I go, right, I'll sacrifice this creature and ping him for 1. But the way this trigger works is no, you target the creature, then you sacrifice. So, I mean, I've had times where I like sacrificed a young wolf and targeted a young wolf. So that's always it's always a disappointing thing because you just take out your own guy and the damage just disappears. So that's obviously not something you want to do, but that's probably the only negative about the card. It is really powerful. You can just people don't want to use removal if you've got a Last Sensation on the field. Because what's the point of grounding on something if they just... Okay, just say they got like a Planar Cleanse and you've got a Sprouting Thornax on the board. Then, hang on. Yeah, good. Before I built this deck and then I forgot about the multicolored cards and I panicked and thought I hadn't changed it. But yeah, so you got Sprout and Thronex on the field, and then they played the Nightmare for this deck, the card that is going to ruin this deck the most, Anger of the Gods. You sacrifice your Thronex, hit them for 1, then you sacrifice all 3 tokens, hit them for 4. Just say you got a Young Wolf on the field. That's 5. That's 6. So they paid six. They paid 3 mana for one of the best cards in the game to take 6 damage. That is the power of this card. Maybe 5 damage. I might have over exaggerated there. But that's a hell of a lot of damage. So if you've got a Blasting Station on the field, and just say a Thronax or a Young Wolf, I'm not even too afraid to overextend because they take a lot of damage for the privilege of wiping your board. And they don't even exile the creatures, even though we have no way of bringing them back. But even still, it's just a ridiculous card. Just removal basically does nothing. It can help finish a game off with a similar effect to Raid Bombardment in the way that it's a lot more damage for one attack. So you attack in, they block, 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 block. Then you just sacrifice. Just say you've got like they block like a Thronex or something again. Just stuff that re-enters the battlefield, or you've got plenty of triggers on the stack. And you just keep sacrificing the stuff they block, and that's just an extra damage getting through. So yeah, that's Blasting Station. It's the heart of this deck. It's hopefully we get to show that next week how it works. Thronax is the best card in this deck. I think it's probably is one of the few reasons you absolutely have to run black along with the next couple cards. Sprout of Thronax, it is just a 3/3 that dies. It makes 3 tokens, which is ridiculous in this deck. It's just such a powerful card. Yeah, again, there's people are unwilling to use removal on it, bar exile. Just because what's the point? You just the same value of cards is coming through, and yeah, it's Sprout and Thronax. It's why you run Jund. Next we run 2 Cathartic Vomit, and this is just a personal preference. I'll go through both these cards at the same time. And we run 2 August Spree. If you want more of a removal deck, like a removal heavy deck, in the way that so you can just wipe out their blockers and then just keep getting through damage every turn, which is definitely a viable strategy. Run 4 August Spree if you want more of an aggro deck. Not too worried about removal, just trying to kill your opponent as fast as possible. Cathartic Vomit, run 4 of them. Me, I'm very split on this. I've tried both. August Spree is very good, and that's actually taking out Brimazes, taking out, like Din Rover Horrors. Just keep anything they play just dies pretty instantly. And the good, I'll go through August Spree first, seeing as I somehow went on a tangent about it. Even if it doesn't kill, just say they've got, I don't know, Baneslayer. Well, Baneslayer is a bad example, because it's got first strike, but, and just say an Arbor Colossus. You swing in with, I don't know, like a Young Wolf. They block with the Arbor Colossus. You play August Spree. That takes the thing down to a 6/2. You hit them for 1 with the Young Wolf. No, actually you don't. You sack out the Young Wolf, ping them for 1. Then you sack out the Young Wolf again, ping them for 2. There you go. So it's just, even if it doesn't necessarily, just say they've got creatures above that toughness, cards like Blasting Station, Arsonist will be able to finish the big creatures off generally, unless they've got like a Terra Stamper, but let's not talk about that. Tribute Hunger is here for a reason. But yeah, August Spree is really good. I prefer it to Ground Assault. It's kind of a coin flip between the 2 cards. Because we only run 22 lands, as you can see, so it's Ground Assault's a bit etchy. Generally, you want to be peaking at about 5 mana in this deck, so you can cast a 3-drop and a 2-drop, maybe 6 mana. Yeah, so you can cast like 2 3-drops. You don't want to see much more than that. Definitely not earlier on anyway. And so Ground Assault, it's going to take a long time to reach the potential of August Spree. August Spree is an instant as well, so you can surprise your opponent, which is always nice in an aggro deck. And I just think it's a better card. I mean, there's not much we can pump bar a quest token. Sorry, I got a cold. But I just think it's a better choice. If you think Ground Assault's a better choice and you're flooding out a lot more, then sure, go ahead and run Ground Assault, and I wouldn't judge you any bit, but I personally prefer August Spree. Cathartic Bomber is Cathartic Bomber. I think it's a really good card in this deck, mostly for the Unearth. If it was just like this and it was like 2 mana, it'd be a bit itchy, but the fact you can do it twice is just ridiculous. Because you swing in, deal the combat damage, then you sack out the Cathartic Bomber, so you deal 3 damage. and you make 2 tokens. So potentially this guy is 5 damage. Just like, and then you can unearth him and do it again. That's 10 damage to your opponent. If they're not life gain, they're not going to appreciate that very much. That's even if you just sack out the tokens. Just say the tokens are unopposed. They can keep swinging every turn, and it's just a powerful card. I really like it in this deck. The 2 triggers on Blasting Station is always nice. And yeah, I mean, like I said, it's a conflict between these cards. Catholic Bomb is a great creature in this deck. Great, like it's one of the I'll throw one out because I hate that much, but no, it's a really powerful creature. Not like I said there, it's heavy damage fast, and yet again, if they remove it, then why would they want to remove it? You're just gonna hit them for 1, sort of thing. I know you're not always gonna have Blasting Station out, but this deck functions really well without Blasting Station. You know, cards like Raid Bombardment, aggro cards such as Rabble Master. If you start individually, the cards in this deck aren't the strongest, I feel, but get a decent side out of them, and then suddenly your opponent's in trouble. They'll be low because of the Hellsparks. Questionable Gravelord's a big guy. Bloodghast will be pinging at them every turn. Arsonist can ping at them, you know. Just there's little bits here and there, and then suddenly your opponent's low on life and they can't even swing back. They have to sit defensively and let you build up your army. Moving on to lands, it's fairly self-explanatory. 3 Jund Gates, and then as red and black are our primary colours. We run 2 Rakdos Gilgates, and we run 1 Gruul and 1 Golgari. And then basics, we run 5 Swamps because we want to hit Bloodghast turn 2, but it's not always necessary. It's always nice to 6 Mountains because mountains are our main colour, and 4 green. Just I worked out the maths. This is about right. Just because there's not too much mono green, but you want to get your Thrinaxes. I might have a bit too much green to be fair, but you want to get Young Wolf and Visionary out early, so that's why they're then. Thrinax obviously want to get out early as well. Now we'll start going through cards which aren't in the deck, which might cause a bit of controversy. So I'll justify it. I'll even throw Judge Skeleton in for love. Phyrexian Rager. It's a great cantrip. It's a great card. Don't get me wrong. If I see this card in this deck, I don't go, oh my god, why is it in the deck? It is a great card. It definitely. I feel it like I wouldn't bat an eyelid if it's in the deck. But the reason it's not in my deck is because turn 3, I want to be casting a Rabble Master, Raid Bombardment, Blasting Station, Thrinax, Barma, August Spree. There's just not enough room in that 3-drop spot. I don't want to go up to 23 drops and have to cut. Most likely a 2-drop or a 1-drop. I'm not even sure which one yet. But it's just you want the 3-drop being spot to be in 2 congested, and all my 3-drops I feel are better. Rabble Master is pretty much guarantees because Raid Bombardment can win games on its own. Blasting Station is the heart of the deck. You'd much rather cast a Thrinax or a Bomber than a Rager, in my opinion, and removal. That's always nice. So I mean, I don't know. You could throw out 2 of these and put in 2 Ragers, but I think the removal is more important. So it's a very good card, like I said. The cantrip keeps the train rolling. Pretty much the same thing as Visionary, except a bigger body. And yeah, so let's defend this one. Throw through. Let's move this train onto the other card, which is definitely viable. Take off black because we don't know. I'm so bad at using this. I never use it. I just kind of scroll through, but I'm trying to be efficient. Where is it? Act of Treason. This card pretty powerful in this deck. You could, if you wanted to, if you are drawing Blasting Station loads, and every game you find it, run this instead of your August Breeze, because this is just better removal. If you have a Blasting Station on the field, basically, I mean, you gain control, you swing in, hit them for, just say they got Baneslayer, because I used Baneslayer as an example before and it didn't work, but let's use it now. You steal their Baneslayer, you hit them for 5, you gain 5 life, and then you just kill their creature. Bang. Easy as done. That's how powerful this guy is. And so if you feel like you're drunk, but my problem with it is you're not always going to have a Blasting Station on the field. It's a card you wish you could just start the field on, same as Dublin Season. You could choose one card you just like, right, this card is just, you start the game with on the field. This would be in this deck, but Act of Treason, if it's just not consistent enough. I mean, stealing the creature, hitting them for 5 is nice, obviously, but with only 1 sack out of it. If it's a different build, if you wanted to go like, I don't know, like Bloodflow Connoisseur, Scavenger Drake, stuff like that, then definitely you run all 4 of them, potentially potent for Betrayal. But in this deck, I don't think you do. But like I said, if you've seen loads of Blasting Stations, then go ahead. But I think that's really the two cards off the top of my head which really deserve a place. So I will say the end, and that's the deck. And if you've got any cards you feel definitely should be in, cards you think shouldn't be in, let me know, and I will justify and argue, and eventually probably disagree with you in the end. But yeah, that's the deck, and I'm looking forward to playing this coming week. Trying to find some time. I mean, this is obviously only a 15-minute video, so it's not going to be too time consuming to upload and stuff. So when I get time, I'll play with this deck. I've been playing with it a lot. I've lost once, and that was to a guy who dropped a double Faith Mender, followed by a Solomon Offering, which was kind of frustrating. Especially I had him down to like 2 at one point. That broke my heart when he Solomon Offering. But still, that's been the only loss. Apart from that, I think we've won like 4 or 5 games, and that's always a good thing. Although win loss really doesn't mean much because one of them guys was running 90 cards and missed a land drop turn 1. But let's put that behind us and say thank you guys for watching, and I will hopefully see you next coming week with this deck.